Boom! India just leaked past China. Yeah, you heard that right. And even Singapore in this wild economic showdown. Numbers don't lie, but headlines sure do. So what's really going on here? Buckle in, because this story isn't as simple as waving a flag and yelling, "We're richer now." Spoiler, not quite. But trust me, the real twist is way juicier. But before we dive in, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. I subscribe. And I'll personally welcome you into the family. With that said, let's get started. Number 1. What's the deal? Fact incoming. Alright, let's slice through the noise. The headlines are everywhere. India's nominal GDP just smashed past $4.19 trillion, making it the fourth largest economy in the world. That's right, bigger than Japan now. Cue the celebratory tabla beats. And this isn't some rumor on the street. This comes straight from Insight's IAS and confirmed by the Times of India. But before anyone starts sending thank you cards to Bollywood for single-handedly saving the economy, let's set the record straight. We didn't leapfrog China. Not even close. China is still sitting up there on the throne with a whopping $19.5 trillion GDP, more than 4 Indias combined. The Eurasian Times and Focus Economics both remind us. China's dominance is still very real, and India's climb is impressive, but the Himalayas are still in front of us. Now let's talk Singapore. India's economy is officially number 4 globally, while Singapore chills way down at number 27 in nominal GDP rankings. According to Business Today and good old Wikipedia, India looks like a giant next to Singapore. But here's the punchline. Singaporeans are probably sipping their bubble tea without a care, because per capita, they're living in another stratosphere. So yes, we zoomed past Japan and Singapore in raw size. That's a flex worth posting about. But when it comes to China, nah. And context, my friends, is EVERY. Number 2. Why isn't India richer? Here's where things get juicy. Having the 4th largest GDP doesn't automatically mean your average Chaiwala is suddenly buying Ferraris. Why? Because GDP isn't about what you make, it's about what the whole country makes. And when you divide that pie by 1.4 billion hungry mouths, the math isn't exactly glamorous. India's per capita GDP, basically how much money each citizen would get if we split the economy evenly, is around $2,878. According to Wikipedia, that ranks India somewhere near 137th in the world. That's like showing up to a billionaire's club and realizing you're only there to serve snacks. Now flip the script to Singapore. Their economy might look like a peanut compared to India's cashew, but per citizen, they're rolling in it. With a per capita GDP of around $65,000, shout out to Gurung.org, the average Singaporean could buy a car, a condo, and still have cash left for satay skewers. While the average Indian is still calculating if the next Uber ride fits their budget. Here's the insight bomb. Bigger doesn't mean richer per person. India's GDP is huge, but until per capita incomes climb, we're playing the big but not wealthy paradox. Number 3. What's fueling the rocket ship? So if we're not rich per head, why are investors losing their minds over India? Because the growth engine is on fire. According to the Financial Times and the Economic Times, India's economy is projected to grow at about 6.6% in 2025. Compare that to China's sluggish 4.8% and suddenly, Wall Street is looking at India like it just discovered a new flavor of ice cream. Demographics, that's India's secret sauce. While China is graying faster than a college professor during finals week, India is bursting with a young, hungry workforce. As Focus Economics and the Financial Times put it, China's population is shrinking, while India's is booming, and youth equals productivity, innovation, and hustle. Then there's the investor vibes. Bond spreads have hit decade highs, signaling that global investors are way more bullish on India than on China. Even with global turbulence, India's financial markets are sending off signals like a Bollywood dance number. Bright, loud, and impossible to ignore. Financial Times backs this up. And don't forget the supply chain shift. The world learned its lesson during COVID. Don't put all your eggs or iPhones in one basket. Enter India as the rising star of the China Plus One strategy, meaning companies want China and another strong hub. According to the Economic Times, India is positioning itself as that hub, becoming a critical anchor in global supply chains. That's not just good economics, that's power play politics. Number 4. The real roadblocks. Now, before we all start ordering golden thalis to celebrate India's economic glow-up, let's slam the brakes. Because here's the not-so-sexy truth. The riches haven't really trickled down yet. According to Business Today and the Economic Times, India's per capita income is still low, meaning the average citizen isn't feeling that world's fourth largest economy status in their wallet. It's like watching a blockbuster where the lead actor wins all the awards, but the extras never get paid. Then comes the notorious villain, reform slow-mo. India is like a race car with rocket fuel, but speed bumps all over the track. Bureaucracy, check. Infrastructure gaps, double check. Rural inequality, triple check. And as the Economic Times and the Financial Express remind us, all of these keep India from fully unleashing its explosive growth potential. You can't become the world's factory if half your roads still look like they survived 5 monsoon battles in a row. And here's another twist. India's growth story is services heavy. Sure, fintech, and digital startups are surfing high waves, but manufacturing is still playing catch-up. Meanwhile, China continues to dominate the global factory floor. As Focus Economics notes, India's economy is like a star cricket player who bats brilliantly but struggles to bowl. It shines in services, but hasn't yet balanced the game in manufacturing. So yes, the rocket ship is launching, but it's got duct tape on the wings. Number 5. What happens next? Alright, crystal ball time. Can India actually overtake China? Short answer, not anytime soon. China's $19.5 trillion machine is still way out ahead. But here's the kicker. India's growth is so fast that the gap is closing, slowly but surely. According to thejasingapore.com and Focus Economics, convergence could happen, but we're talking decades, not years. So anyone expecting India to dethrone China by 2030, keep dreaming. But here's where it gets spicy. Global financial markets. By 2028, India may actually overtake China in MSCI index weightings, according to the Financial Times. That's basically like Wall Street putting a giant neon sign over Mumbai saying, "This is where the future money's at." Investors are watching closely, and their wallets may start tilting toward India more than China. Then there's the geopolitical chessboard. As the G3 narrative, that's US, China, and India, starts picking up steam, India's influence in global institutions could skyrocket. Think UN, WTO, IMF. India won't just be attending meetings, it could be setting the agenda. Wikipedia backs up how this G3 idea has been gaining traction. And don't sleep on the next-gen economy. The future isn't just about having a giant GDP. It's about what kind of GDP. India needs skilling programs, innovation drives, and manufacturing reforms to really hit escape velocity. That's how you move from big economy to booming superpower. Without those, the rocket ship lifts off, but might stall mid-air. So what happens next? India's not replacing China tomorrow, but it is setting itself up as the world's fastest rising power. One bold reform, one young worker, and one global investor at a time. At the end of the day, India's story isn't about overnight miracles. It's about momentum, resilience, and a relentless climb toward the top. The economy may not outmuscle China today, and Singapore still beats us on per capita wealth, but the direction of travel is crystal clear. India is moving fast, and the world can't afford to ignore it. The real question isn't if India becomes a superpower, but how soon and how boldly it will claim that seat at the table. With that said, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. And until next time.